believe.
I like it. It's a very nice princess crown for a
Yep.
princess.
Oh, yeah,
Very
absolutely.
deserving.
Sadie's amazing. She is leaping. Do you know what leaping is?
No.
So leaping is their developmental leaps that happen every so many amounts of times, and there's a wonderful app called Wonder Weeks that tells you about it.
Mm-hmm.
What it just means is essentially they're extra fussy, extra grumpy, extra needy in the leap stage, but it's super cool because they learn a new skill developmentally. They change. And then the app is sick. Well, I love it because it tells you what's going on and can prepare me mentally for the leap and J Leap. But then it's cool because like literally to the day, it almost nails it that it's going to start. And then you can note, because it tells you what the changes are developmentally, you can start seeing them do it. So, for instance, this leap, Zadie can see almost everything as if you or me can see it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay. So those types of things.
That she can now do that because her eyes are really like open and taking everything in.
Oh, that's
which
insane.
is super cool. Yeah, it's rad. I love it. Yeah, I think there's 14 or 12 or 14 leaps, and it happens over the first 6 months, maybe 8 months, thereabouts. Yeah, it's
That's
super cool.
insane.
Yeah, the app's rad. It drives the boat for you. It tells you what's going on and what's coming. So I think it is sick. And yeah, it's cool because then you can read all about it. And like you can see all the stuff they're doing. And then the app will put in videos where it's like, this is what they can see now. And Kendra's just mixed milk and bubbly water together, I believe. Yummy.
Yes, that's
But
that's a combo.
But we have an exciting announcement, and that is I am, as of today, sitting in this chair, and you're now sitting over there as a guest.
I know, it's very... I was going to say this whole experience from the opposite side has been humbling. It's been exciting, and it's really, I guess, like cool to experience what the guests we had on for so long experience. And
were you nervous as a guest coming on today?
I'm not too sure. I don't think so.
No.
I was getting nervous during the week about the 10 questions I could be asked at the end, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah. Or what he could do.
I was like, but that's no different to what we used to do. But yeah, it's a big change.
Well, as just to carry on the flag properly, as you can imagine, I'm super organized and just really well detailed and incredibly thought out with big, deep questions. I've got notes and pages everywhere around me.
But I will say, the system you've implemented with the forms and stuff has been really cool.
Oh, you like that?
I did.
That was nice.
Yeah, it was really good.
Mate, the internet's an amazing place. It took me ages, but I worked it out. Form Builder.
Proud of you.
Anyone needs a form, get on Form Builder. You can have up to 100 forms per month for free.
That's actually really good.
It's pretty good. How to get a signed waiver, pretty much, and then it's saved somewhere. I love it. So, yeah, that was cool. We got that. And, look, look forward to carrying on the flag, but super excited to have you as the guest because obviously you stepping away from this means you got some cool shit coming your way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doesn't that be even busier than busier himself? So what I figured I would say is what's going on in 25?
Bro, 25 is looking to be a very, very big year. Obviously, for those listening, I've had to make the tough decision to step away from the podcast for a few reasons, but I guess the biggest reason was having to constantly, what I felt, let Jonny down by having to reschedule all the time just due to my schedule becoming stupidly busy, all brought on by myself and all good things. But so like next year's shaping up to be just fucking huge. Like at the moment, it's been kind of nice. We're in the off season with the Dolphins, so I've had.
Does that mean you get a break as a coach, as coaching staff, or does that mean you're still engaged in doing stuff?
Still engaged in doing stuff to a degree at the moment. So we went all the way through the grand final. Unfortunately, no, unfortunately not. Just missing out. Which, look, it was a great season. One of the most fun I've ever had. Obviously, only my second year, so there's not much to compare it to. But
it'd be I always think about with sport, it'd be like powerlifting, right? You're getting PBs every week. It's fucking great. And with league would be like if you're winning every week, that there'd be some real fun moments over a season that would be going on, particularly coming into that, finals fever, so to speak. The buzz must have been rad.
Yeah, like it was, we had a very, I don't want to say mixed season because it was a good season, but we had our ups and downs like every team. And, towards the end, we lost a few players mid-season, some very quality players to, deals over in the UK in the Super League, which was really cool for them. But
That's pretty good for them, right?
it's phenomenal, but obviously it takes a toll on our team. And we had this really good next man up mentality throughout the season, and that's a credit to obviously the whole, Ben Teo and the assistant coaches really driving that, which was exceptional. The players bought in, but we had a mixed season. So then coming into finals, we were lucky enough to finish top 4. Got beat first week, and pretty full on. But obviously finishing that top 4, like the NRL, we get a second chance.
What do you do differently that week? Does the coaching staff? Do you guys look at Do you look at the week previous and go, "Fuck, hang on a minute, we need to not do that," or not necessarily that, but we need to do these things now this week?
Look, we really reflected on what worked for us, and that's we just went back to the basics, basically fundamentals. And I had this chat literally, no, not yesterday. Sorry, yesterday with Gwaine. No matter whether it's business, training, when things aren't going right, you go back to your fundamentals. You go back to ticking boxes at the very micro level of what got you to where you were. And that's what we did. Like we went back, we had a look at, okay, cool, we were poor here and here.
Yeah.
How can we revamp this? And, against the odds, we had players suspended during that week coming back. So we got back in the second week of finals with a very convincing win.
Yep.
And then we had to travel to Cairns for a do or die preliminary final against the Northern Pride, who won the minor premiership and were the top dogs this season. We got a win in Golden Point, which was just thrilling. Like, it was one of the most hectic games I've ever been in. Sorry?
How many minutes into Golden Point was it?
I think 3 or 4 minutes into Golden Point, our halfback just slots this field goal, dead on point, against the wind, 35 metres out. It was just like great rugby league script, and which secured us the grand final, which was sick. So that grand final week was exceptional. There's a lot of media commitments for the boys. So a few distractions around that, but again, we just kept coming back to those fundamentals. Had the QRL Awards lunch on the Friday, which was a great event. So to experience that was really cool as a coach, sit part, see the proceedings, see how grand final week works. And then, bro, like the grand final day, like KO Stadium, luckily it was at Redcliffe, and KO Stadium.
Home ground.
Yeah, so Redcliffe put the bid in for the grand final before the season starts. They obviously got it, which just worked in our favour come game day. And then the atmosphere was like insane. 8,000 plus people at KO.
They got the fins up.
The fins up. You had because it was all across Fox Sports and KO, so you had cameras everywhere. You had players being interviewed. It was just a really professional day, and really cool for those boys to experience. Who haven't played NRL and get that exposure. And unfortunately, we did obviously lose, but
close.
It was close. It was close. We got back in it, and then unfortunately, just they ran away with it. That's sport. We weren't really too disappointed. Obviously, the Sheds were
a
bit sad afterwards, but mate, we couldn't really. We've had players get NRL contracts off this season, which is really cool to see. And that's the point of us at this level. Yes, we want to win, and yes, we want to try and keep the best players on the field, but we also want them to progress. And the guys who deserve it and get that opportunity, it's been huge. So,
lack of a better word, that group is like a developmental group. Like the goal is to develop them into stuff, and then they go on to greater and bigger things.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if we can get more, the more players and teach them how to train, and the biggest thing at this level is these guys are working full time as well, or they're studying and working part time. It is. We have one bloke, and he won our Mr. Consistent award this year. Bricklayer by trade. and
Classic.
would be, oh, bro, just lifting heavy
Doesn't get any more
bricks.
NRL than that, does it?
Nah, bro. And he would just be on a job site all day, coming to training
Yep.
and still just rip in. And you look at
Yep.
him and go, well, I looked at him and go, fuck, I couldn't do that.
Yep. That's tough.
One bit older now, but
Yep.
definitely couldn't do that.
That's cool. But dude's just doing what it takes.
Yeah, and that's what they do. They show up, they train. A lot of them been through, different NRL systems, and
Yep.
having goes in their preseason, may have played. We had a few from Canberra Raiders this year that had come
cool.
from their NRL system,
Yep.
and we're playing New South Wales Cup down there, and they've just
Yep.
been like exceptional.
Damn. And mate, the old analogy, you got to lose one to win one. Maybe
100%. So
lean on that a little bit. Look at the Lions.
Yep, absolutely. I think they're freaking like it's been a really, it's obviously a tough loss, but to reflect on that and go, well, we still had a really good season. How can we go one better next year?
Yeah.
And we're in that process now. So us coaches, we've got 2 weeks off,
Nice.
and then we're back into the planning for 2025, which is really cool.
Yep.
And then I've got some PD stuff with the NRL, the coaches as well. So getting that exposure is going to be really,
what do
really.
You do there? What's that?
Sorry?
What do you do there?
So I'm going to be able to sit on a lot of their programming and developing sessions, and then come their preseason, sit on some of the sessions as well, and just get an idea of how the big dogs operate.
Yep. Yeah, when they're playing at a full-time level where everyone's a salaried player and you've literally it's the job. It is the job. They're not laying bricks.
No,
the amount of time that they have to spend at their sport, and the amount then you as a coaching staff get to touch them, move them, and do stuff with it. That's got to be sick. It's got to be exponential in what you get.
Yeah, like I look at even this year, my head of performance this year had come from the New Zealand Warriors. So he was a strength and power coach at the top level, from all the way from like junior developments over in NZ. And then obviously COVID happened, and when they were based over here, his family settled. So like, oh, we're not going back. And it's just been a blessing for me. Like I look at the coach I was at the start of the year to now, and the amount of stuff I've been able to take away from that environment and see its application or how we could apply it to, my world, or our world in powerlifting and developing other athletes, which has been it's been really cool to see. It's been really humbling.
Do you ever get to see any powerlifting turn up in footy training?
Yeah, like
using any of the ideas? They like any of the movement?
It's really cool to see, especially I guess this year. And as I give a shout out to my head of performance junior, really big on the West Side method of accommodating resistance.
Oh, lovely.
It's actually and I didn't really realize how prominent it was across the whole S&C world. I've recently just gone through the ASCA level 2, and they talk a lot about it.
Love it.
Which is cool. And, I think it was cool to be able to implement that this year with the bands. We still bench, we still squat. We probably don't deadlift. Our variation would be the trap bar deadlift.
Oh, yeah, nice. Still picking something up.
Exactly. And we're still, getting to implement those cues around your bench. And I'm still teaching bench, you're a powerlifter. I'm still squatting. Giving those cues.
There's no half squats in your gym floor.
Nah, exactly. Off season, we're squatting to depth. We're getting range. In season, we may put a box underneath just to save the hips. But
you're still working to a range that you've decided.
Exactly. And every opportunity we get, we're trying to reintroduce range.
Some range.
But it's been unreal.
Cool. It's cool to know they like bands and chains too, though, right?
They a lot of coaches love it.
I love it. Makes sense to me.
Melbourne Storm.
Yeah.
So their S&C, their strength and power coach, is a powerlifter and equip lifter.
Is he?
He loves his West Side, and that's what they do. They do, man. They do a lot of speed work from a box.
Yeah.
And I was quite surprised. And look, can't argue with the results. Obviously, it's not all on the S&C. I know our roles are very small in the world of rugby league.
You guys just play a part.
We play the part. Their job is to be skillful rugby league players. So that's their main priority, right? But fuck, they were in the NRL Grand Final this weekend and have been one of the most dominant teams for the last decade.
Yeah. Do you guys get an opportunity to look left and right at other clubs and kind of see what they're doing for S&C stuff, or does everyone keep the doors pretty closed? It's kind of just like, I heard that this club was doing this. Does everyone want to keep their secrets in?
Yeah, look, not I guess club to club, so to speak.
Coach to coach, maybe.
Coach to coach a little bit more. There's a lot of good information, through associations like the Australian Strength and Conditioning Association, where they're really pumping out a lot of good. If you're an experienced coach, you have the opportunity to present at one of their conferences, so you do get an idea. It all does boil down to similar principles across the board, but then you do see a lot of cross collaboration between codes. So I know like the Reds Rugby Union and the Brisbane Broncos have a lot of development sessions together, or coaching sessions where they upskill other coaches, which is really cool.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good one.
And then, as I said, like we've got good access to the NRL staff who've got a wealth of experience. Like they've been through multiple systems.
Yep.
But for the most part, it is about that upskill, that professional development through whichever avenue you can get. For me, it was the ASCA Level 2 course today, and just getting that exposure to coaches who don't just coach in rugby or powerlifting.
Yeah, it's pretty broad. I mean, I did my level 1 400 years ago.
Bro, yeah, dude, it's changed so much. I did my level 1. When did you do yours?
Oh, too long ago, bro. I wasn't grey. Let's just say that.
Yeah, right. Because I did mine in 2014, and it is so different now.
Yeah, I bet. I had Dan Baker.
Yeah.
It's so cool. And I had a hockey coach, which is
right.
Cool. Like, just started showing that diversity of like what was required. But at the same time, like you said, I think I liked was it's all pretty similar. They're all playing a sport. Their sport evolved around a weekly event, essentially. The events got harder if they got further into their season, and the injury demands were just specific to sport. That was it. But it was all pretty much played the same, is what I walked away with.
Yeah, it's essentially like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the sport. You gotta look at the athlete. What are the demands of their sport? How can you make them physically better to handle the demands of that sport?
Yep.
That's S&C in a nutshell.
What do you think is more important, getting them stronger and faster, or less injury prone, or do you consider the two the same?
Well, I consider the two the same. I think a stronger athlete is a more resilient athlete. And now, when I guess in an S&C terms, like we talk powerlifting, a stronger athlete is simple. It's more weight on the bar. When we talk a stronger, more resilient athlete in the S&C, in a multi-plane sport, we're looking at building resiliency and strength across all those planes of motion. And that can look very different sport to sport. So if I have a strong rugby league player, I know he's going to be able to handle the forces of sprinting, jumping, landing is a big one, change of direction, agility. So if I can make them resilient and strong across those areas and powerful across those areas, I believe they are less injury prone.
Yeah, totally agree. And then do you get to have an opportunity to muck around with the injured people and then bring them back?
Yeah, so we have, like this year it's been phenomenal. We have a head physio who treats any injuries after game. Will triage it, see obviously scales. We get a weekly report of this is where the people are at. This is their return to play schedule. This is their return to train schedule. And then my job off that is to, okay, cool. Here's my program. Here's what they can and can't do. How can I get them involved, still training, still progressing, but not obviously increasing that injury. So it's a lot of cool collaboration with a lot of smart people.
That's cool. A lot of emails.
Yeah, a lot of emails. Like this year, I guess compared to like the systems are now set up there. Obviously, last year with the introduction of the NRL, I think things were a bit up in the air. Whereas now it's very like everything's got a system. We know everyone's role, and it's all streamlined, which is cool. But yes, definitely a lot more emails this year, which is like you'd probably be the same, bro. I
have a lot more emails in my life too.
Bro, like we've been working for ourselves for how long? Fucking ages. Like
wasn't
now taking me and putting me into like a professional environment, I'm like, shit, there's procedures to follow. You can't just do things the way you do it because that's the way you've always done it.
Yep. No.
Hello, Kendra.
Hi. Say hi. Hello. Yeah, that'd be the thing. I mean, the admin computer component of any of our things, even just as a coach, is significantly increased But I imagine for you guys, having that system, because there's so many people playing a role, right? The head coach at the top, and then all the other little players underneath.
Yeah, and like we got to
coach's goal.
Yeah, and we got to liaise with the NRL because we get players back from their squad, and then we got to liaise with the Brisbane Rugby. We got a BRL team, so Brisbane Rugby League, and we got to liaise with their coaches and their developments, and it was definitely a really cool exposure year for me. I think exposure and growth is probably what I got most out of this year.
So when do we see Brandon Greco head of S&T for an NRL club?
I think it's...
And then don't forget us, right? Just remember.
I definitely won't forget you. Like, I feel I would love to...
When we get the NRL scoops just from you.
Yeah, look, that's the other cool thing about being in the industry is getting like little drips of information before it's released to the public. But this year has, as I said before, like it's been a big year, right? I've between still running a business and like running a business alone is a lot, and then still having like another full-time job, and then I've decided to go back to uni just to really take a step forward into that NRL because you just don't get a look in, right?
What are you studying?
Exercise science, so just a diploma to get me started because I fucking really struggled first time with uni. Obviously a bit younger, but now that I'm a bit more mature, hopefully I can handle it a bit more. But between that, which will be 2 years, between
Is that annoying for you, bro? Because you've got the skill set, you know how to do the thing, but you don't have the sheet of paper. Do you ever get judged on that occasionally, like when coaching?
I think
in powerlifting, no one really gives a shit. No one's asking for us.
Yeah, I think last year with the people, some staff that we had, I think it was definitely you were judged. Like I felt judged based off that. Whereas this year, I've kind of proven myself. People have looked at the results. You know, a lot of the people, a couple of our coaches know who Odell Manuel is because they played with him.
Yeah, you're like, well, man, I helped him out for a bit.
Yeah, and then they're like, wait a minute. I was like, yeah, I coached him. They put two together. They're like, holy shit, this guy is actually, he knows what he's talking about.
He's okay. He was strong.
And I'm like, hey, you fucking think? Like, what's going on? But look, yeah, it's been a tough thing, to be completely honest, swallowing my ego at uni and going, I'm here for a reason. Like, let's get this going.
Gotta eat the pie, bro.
Yeah, and it is what it is. But
there's no doubt. I mean, you'll still take plenty away from that course. I
yeah,
I mean, there'll be stuff you maybe know. There'll be some stuff you do know. There'll be some stuff you don't like, and then there'll be stuff you're like, whoa, I didn't even think about that.
Exactly, and that's what I really want to, I guess, challenge and find. I guess for me, the exciting part is to find that stuff that maybe will disagree with or be an opposing thought to my belief or whatever.
But even that's part of the education process, like learning what you don't like as well.
Exactly.
You can learn that you don't like it. So if when it came up at a club level, you'd be like, hang on a minute, I don't like this. I've learned about it, and this is why I don't like it. And I don't think it suits our club or our sport.
100%. But with all that on, and then seeing in an NRL job, look, I would like the experience. I don't know if I could do it long term.
It'd be a big job, wouldn't it? I remember way back when we had Nathan the Jackal on, and he talked about his time when he was King Physio for them, and he said he loved it and he loved his time, but the travel demand and then having a family and stuff is what wore him down and why he stepped away from it into private practice now.
100%, and that's
it'd be consuming, I imagine. It would have to be to do that job. You would have to let yourself consume it.
And I think it's like while while we're still young, while I don't have kids right now, I can't afford to be putting in these hours.
Oh yeah. Lost my camera. How about that?
Yeah, I just saw that. I was like, oh.
Wowzers. That's exciting. I'll keep recording though.
Yeah, it should be still
while I work it out.
Yeah. But while we're young, I can still definitely do that. It's just going to be, I really weigh it up and go, do I want to be in that NRL system long term with the demands of travel, seeing how much it affects other coaches I know,
And we're back.
But
Yeah,
look, at the
Fuck,
moment,
it'd be cool though, wouldn't it?
sorry,
Fuck, it'd still be cool though.
it would be cool. So I think I want to do it for that experience, maybe a year or 2 years.
See what
But
comes.
then I definitely know that my passion still lies in the private sector.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
One, also like money-wise, you're gonna make more money in the private sector.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But two, that experience, man, like I just know for a fact, even now, like just from a not even at that top level, but just the exposure I've been able to get, it's made me a better coach, and I can take that experience and talk to other coaches about it. And I'm very lucky in Epic that I've Brooke and Mason, who are they just do a phenomenal job.
Extraordinary coaches. That doesn't like, does it? Keep dropping out. That's right. And that's a good question. Like, because you obviously are still private coaching for those that are seeing you for the first time. Everyone can know who you are anyway.
Yeah.
But what similarities do you draw? What lessons have you been able to learn from S&C coaching at a sports team level to your own sort of client base, and which is the powerlifting world?
Look, to be fair, I think it's stuff that we already know. Like the environment of a team is always going to be superior to a one-on-one.
The value is unreal, isn't it?
The value is unreal, not just from like a coaching perspective. Like, yeah, I could probably give you more information, more cueing in a one-on-one session.
Yeah, man. I often think I remember Mark Bell talking about it, and a few other ex Westsiders talking about it, and they all talked about it. And the thing they said, I was like, you know what? It wouldn't have fucking mattered what we trained.
Yeah.
It was the environment that Louis created. Obviously the West Side method worked really well for him as well, but they always talked about how just the culture and the place and the space just made everyone strong. You had to be fucking strong to be there.
Yeah,
but
bro.
I reflect back on like just, and I'm sure you would, with some of the training programs that I've written for people, and you're like, man, well, I probably could have done it way better, but did everyone progress? And you're like, look at it and you're like, yep. And you're like, hang on a minute. Just the whole crew went, like everyone went together and everyone drove each other. And it was more about creating that space was almost as important, if not more important, than actual what the fucking sets and reps were for the session.
That's it. This is quite ironic because I caught up with Kane and Doc yesterday. We had lunch, and we said the exact same thing. Like, it wasn't the thing that obviously powerlifting's evolved over the years since we first got into it, and especially since you first got into it. But the thing we miss most, and like I haven't been powerlifting training per se due to niggles and injuries, but the thing we miss most is the camaraderie, the sessions where we would just get in and rip. Like some of my favorite memories, my best memories as a human being.
Yep.
Just ripping and tearing with the crew on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Like it was just absolutely insane. I just feel privileged and lucky to be able to have shared, like, man, some of those sessions we did. Holy fuck.
Yeah. I mean, those are the things you remember, right? As well. Like from those are the things you remember too, right?
Absolutely.
Man, I couldn't remember who lifted what, but I remember the fucking time and who I lifted with.
Fucking oath. Like, to be fair, I do remember a lot of those times I was actually privileged enough to be coaching, so I wasn't able to rip and tear as much. But, those Saturday sessions you trained with Polly in 2018.
Lovely. One of my favorite.
Like those reverse band overhead, reverse band squat sessions. Like, I remember that. I remember still to this day. And they were that was peak, like coaching fun. That's up there for me.
Yeah, 100%.
And it wasn't because, the numbers we hit, like, yeah, they were unreal.
Because everyone was pushing, right? Didn't really matter who was lifting
so
what.
sick.
And they were just fucking big round circles on a barbell.
Yeah, like literally. And I think, going into S&C, working in the club, like, if there's a good atmosphere, the boys rip in. Doesn't matter what the program is. Doesn't matter what we're doing. It could be something they hate, and we are just the session's unreal. And I think from my own development perspective, coming back from like a team environment with lots of different players, is applying a lot of that sort of stuff, to our guys to make them more resilient. Which is just really cool. Like, it mixes up, adds variety to their training. I also feel from my end, it gives them more value that I'm constantly upskilling and learning as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely like the lessons I wouldn't really say, but there's been a lot of learning.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the thing I'd notice even in my own coaching, I've seen a big shift towards desire to train in small groups, in private sessions. Like there's far less interest in a private training session, and that's even goes beyond just powerlifting. Like like a better word, general pop human who just comes to get a bit stronger or more resilient as they age or whatever's going on in their world. That experience of training with a group, small group, 2, 3, 4 people in a gym that's involved in each other as well. There's a lot more call for that now, I think, than what there used to be back in the day, when it used to be, I think, all about, I'm just training by myself, my private training facility.
Agreed.
Nowadays, nobody really wants that, I don't think.
No, I couldn't agree more. Like I do a couple of one-on-ones during the week just for like either special cases or people who are just like, they just want that, and that's fine. I think there will always be a place for it, but majority, 95%, all want to be in the group and they love it because they get to help so and so. They make friends, and then people come out of the shows like, and we've dribbled on about this for years on this potty, but it's still the best part of coaching, man. It's still like that. Still means way more to me than any fucking PR does.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, and you'd probably find the same these days. The biggest cause effect I can find is more in the conversations I can have offline outside of the training. Like send me the ability of what we have now with WhatsApps and all the other things we can see is, send us all the training videos for the week and, updating all the programs and the spreadsheets. And you do all that now in the back end. And then when they come in, it's just hanging out and spotting a few barbells. And just checking in with them for the week, and then they play in that group environment where all of a sudden, that's worth 5-10 kilos on the bar, right?
I think it's like, but I don't think we do, but I think we're very privileged as coaches to be able to influence people well beyond just physically. And I know, like, my coaching philosophy for the last however many years has always been better people make better lifters. And that's evolved to better people make better athletes now. And better athletes make better people.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Where do you think, who would note, or if you'd like to note a person or even just a story without naming anyone, like some of those transitions or changes you've seen in people because of their time with you, that you remember and really stand out a note for you?
Look, for me, I think the evolution of a couple of my current clients, like one bloke, Nate Stone. He was a bloke that just came in because he needed to shift a few kilos off him. He wanted to get into some strength training. He's just like, he was, very shy person, very introverted, and now he's coming out of his shell. He's helping other people with, rolling their reps, spotting them. He's in a group, and you know what? The boys fucking love him. They get around him. The crew gets around him. Everyone's willing to help him, but he trains at such an intensity and I shared it at Epic Awards this year. He would be on the sled and he would just be fucking gassed, right? He'd be absolutely gassed. But then I'd look over at someone else and they'd be pushing a little bit harder because they can see how hard he's working. And it's like, hold up, like that's, like I get goosebumps thinking about that shit now. They're the really cool wins that when you start to see that the community inspires other people within it, you're on the right track.
Yeah, 100%. Have you ever seen any big changes for people outside of the gym because of their time within?
Yeah, bro. I remember, this is going back years and years, but one bloke came in. Remember Billy Chan?
Billy Chan?
Yep. So massive bencher. I think he benched like 210 at under 90, right? Ridiculous. And he came in one day and we're all like really excelling at that point. Coaching business is going ballistic. And I remember he came in and he's like, I was like, what'd you do on the weekend? He goes, I bought a house. And we're like, what the fuck?
That's cool.
And he's like, yeah, I just feel like I needed to level up because all you guys are killing it. And I was like, whoa.
That's cool.
That's a big win.
That's cool. That's cool.
And then like you see the evolution of people like, Luke Poley, Lily Riley, two of the strongest humans that have just developed into these, Luke's that very fucking prominent, almost dad figure that will give advice all the time, help out where he can. And then you got Lily, who's just become an inspiration for everyone. And, I don't coach those athletes anymore. I don't coach, I just kind of like handle Polly and help them and Lily's obviously coached by Thomas Lilly, but to see their evolution even now and their success is just incredible.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And like you've had those, you've been around those two for a long, long time. Like to see that progression of them as a human. Like Luke's awesome, but even like for me, just seeing, because I've seen a lot of Lily as well, and like seeing like her is just like professionally in her business and like that stuff grow, and her sort of
the brand of that is
brand,
Lily
the brand
Riley
of Lily,
now.
that's what I was going to say. It's actually a brand now. Like it is a purchasable, sponsorable. It's a brand that no doubt makes her money off the back of what she has done. And so it should. And then as a business involved in it, you will do well because you're attached to such an incredible human who does cool stuff. Strong as fuck. I saw a 280 double the other day. I think you were standing behind her on that.
To be able to, like, it's so cool to still be
so
involved.
Much weight. What is she on? 80 something?
She's 85 at the moment, so the heaviest she's ever been.
Yeah. 85 kilos, ladies and gentlemen, squatting 280 for a double.
And you know what? I like to be still involved, still being able to wrap her knees and give her the best opportunity to do that is unreal for me. Like, and there were some of, she has been known to squat high before. She got roasted this year online by people who don't know anything about the sport after squatting the animal cage, and she came out and admittedly said, like, "Oh fuck, I'm embarrassed because it's high."
Yeah, I saw actually, not to laugh at her squatting. What she did, I enjoyed the comments because I think it was maybe Zach commented back and said something like, "It's an exhibition, you fucking idiots."
Yeah.
What the fuck are you judging it for? And then I think the dude was like, he clicked on his profile and then replied to it with something like, "Oh, I clicked on your profile and saw it. You can squat. Sorry."
That's the best. That's actually hilarious.
Yeah, that's so good, isn't it?
100%. But then to see Lily come out and squat 280 to a very reasonable depth.
Yep.
Like that was just cool. For me, I thought that was really cool just to show her resilience and like.
It's a lot of weight, bro.
It's a lot of weight. Also, if you get that much exposure.
Yeah. That's it, man. Well, that's it. I mean, for her, like, all comments, good comments, right? That means people are watching.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as I said, if you're a brand that wants to be part of Lily Riley's brand, you will make money.
Oh, yeah. And she going to make squats. I think, what is she doing? Is she doing Zero Pro? I saw her name there.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure she's doing Zero Pro, and then she'll back it up at Battle in Valhalla.
Yep, nice.
I think she's gunning for the all-time 90-kilo record, or the all-time squat record. Don't quote me on that, everyone listening, because I can't remember.
Yep.
But like, she's in some of the best career form, and she's unreal.
Yeah, that's unreal. Who's coming next, you reckon, mate? Because you're coaching some few. You got any up and comers you think in the next few years are going to be space?
I think if we look at people this year who've really cemented their spot in the top grades, or top grade, that elite kind of status, Aubrey. I think that's a big one. Like, he went 9:15 at GPC Nats. You got Sam Harrison coming through as a 110 and a very strong 110. Like, he's just, his evolution's probably been one that I've been very lucky enough to see both sides, also because he fucking lives with us.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, bro, it's hectic. But that's a whole nother potty. And then female-wise, Aisha Golak. She's, I think, went high 400s, high 470s even. Tabitha Whitehead has always been around. Like, she's fucking, she's gone 505 at under 75 at 1 billion years old. So you got those guys coming through, and then there's a few that have just entered the world. And like, I'm also very privileged to work with a couple of young and upcoming rugby league boys. So a few blokes from Kebra Park come down and see me who've played Australian schoolboys. They've got now contracts with Burleigh Bears and the Mal Meninga squad, which is cool to see. Yeah, so like, getting those things.
That's good notoriety for you, though, right? Because like, you're starting to get recognised a bit beyond just powerlifting. Though the young rugby lads are starting to think, hang on a minute, this guy's involved with the Dolphins. He's got this pedigree of staple of lifters that are lifting this shit. He might actually be able to help me.
Yeah, it's been really cool, man. Like, I also coach a triathlete now.
Yep.
What do we got? Triathlete, rugby league players, obviously powerlifters, a couple of like rehabbers, and then a marathon runner. So like
Yep.
different sports,
Yep.
which is pretty damn cool.
Yep.
Like, and it keeps it for me interesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Being able to apply, same principles across different ventures.
Yeah. Is that the bit you always find it? Do you ever sit back and find it interesting that you've got such a multidiscipline, a group of humans you're looking after, but then at the end of the day, you're pretty much applying the same principles?
Yeah, I think it's very. I look back and I go,
because I think at some point I can recognize where you'd have all these multidisciplines and you'd be coming up with what you thought you needed was all these different versions to do something. But it wasn't until if you put, say, 5 of those plans down next to each other, you're like, oh, they look kind of the same.
I think I have definitely had that moment, and like you're exactly right. The principles are there. The application just may be slightly different.
Yep.
For me now, I kind of look at it and go, I'm so grateful for these opportunities.
Mm.
And how did I end up here? Because I always wanted to end up in, I guess, the sports specific sector.
Yep.
Obviously, didn't have the degree, and then we fast forward years, and I'm deep into powerlifting. I'm at big dog meets. I'm meeting some of the best lifters in the world.
Yep.
And then now I sit back and go, I'm fucking so grateful for powerlifting because because of powerlifting and the wins we've had there that I've been able to be in the position I am now.
Yeah, it's huge. Are you going to Big Dogs this year? Are you getting in for that one?
Nah, so Baholi was going to do it. He's pulled out. I think a few of them, like Zach's pulled out as well, from my understanding. So, I just, look.
Hey, what's going on at Big Dogs this year?
No comment. I don't know.
Look,
I just,
my name's not going. Oh dear.
I just think it's, you really need to put a lot more into it to make it what it was.
Yeah. Zero Pro's coming up though.
Zero Pro's always going to be a big comp, especially like I think in the next couple of years there could be a mono in there,
maybe
with the option to walk out. I think if they did that, they'd see a lot more people injuring.
Mate, if they put a mono with a walkout option in there, I think shut the door. I think they've nailed it. I don't know. That's a conversation for Thomas. Maybe they sell combos. Maybe that's why they're doing combos.
Yeah, look, that's also they also sell mono, so hopefully
come on,
they can do both. But I think
the mono boys, let's go.
If we look at the federations that are killing it right now, APL, Capo.
Yeah, they're killing it here in Australia. Oh yeah,
I believe it's for the simple reason I spoke to this. Who the fuck was? Oh, Doc. So Dylan O'Connor said it yesterday. It's like Capo and APL make it very spectator orientated. Yes, they care about the lifter and having a good lifting experience, but no one's going to argue that. But then they put a lot more focus on the experience that the spectators have. They make it exciting.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to do, and it's at a fucking spot where you can go. Like the best thing about Capo this year, we know there were long days and all that stuff, but the opportunity to then go to the bar, grab a drink, grab a coffee, grab food, find a place to chill is what made that weekend so fucking good.
Go to the beach.
Go to the beach if you weren't lifting. Chill out.
And I'm watching APL on my notes just to get those boys on because they've got I've seen them already to talk about what they're doing next year, and they're putting everyone into one house. Looks like they're hiring exhibition centre in Melbourne, and they're already openly talking about how they recognise the importance of making it an event, not just a powerlifting competition, and having vendors and all the other things that we've been doing for a long time already. Just saying.
Look, it's true.
But yeah, talking about that and doing it, so they get it now as well. That you need to do those things, and you get more people there, and it makes it more fun, and it's super fucking.
Look at Zero Pro; it's in the heart of Brisbane, right next to the Storybridge Hotel. I went to APL Nats this year, and you know what I did before it? I went to the Storybridge and had a steak.
Yeah, you did.
It was great.
Yeah, I'm personally looking forward to Zero Pro. This will be my first one, so we got
exciting.
B Ryder and young bench lad Caleb going in there for a bench only. So
Fuck yes.
super pumped, and the event looks fucking neat and shiny. I'm looking forward to it, and having B Rider in there with those stupid strong girls. That's gonna be a fun time, I think.
The other thing is you always know what you're going to get from a APL and Capo meet. I think they're the two strong federations in Australia right now. I think GPC is now behind. Look, in saying that, their nationals this year was great.
Nice.
It was just like they're good nats.
Middle of nowhere.
The guys of is it Hunter Strength Performance, they ran it well.
Good
but
guy.
as you said, unfortunately, it's middle of nowhere.
Wilson
yes, Newcastle's quite nice.
Could be if it wasn't. I mean, Wilson Digger's great venue, great thing. I get it. I went to the APA Nat Sets.
Yes.
However, it's just
it's nowhere near anything.
It's not near the nice beaches.
No, exactly. So if we could, and it's not a knock on them. They ran it perfectly. It's a knock on the guys who run GPC, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I see APA doing well too. If we're talking powerlifting, I think if you see they look like
the IPF.
They're the IPF affiliate, so they look like they got the shit together, and they look like they're doing okay. They've only been doing it for a year, and if you look at the history, that most presidents or however they do it, last 2 or 3 years, and then the next board kicks them out and move on. But let's say this one doesn't happen for them. But if the IPF continues to rise in popularity like it does, and our sport continues to rise in popularity like it does, the concept of wanting to lift in a legitimately tested federation will definitely go with it, and APA will be on the back of it, I think. They still have got plenty of things to get right, though. Like there's a local comp promotion, and it dropped with 4 to 5 weeks notice.
Yeah, right.
So like that doesn't work.
No.
And then because I got a lifter in there, and it's like, oh fuck, we really want her to do one before Nat. She's qualified for NAS, but we want that fucking run out. And we're like, man, in 5 weeks we can't turn over. That's not going to work. No. And then you reach out to try and work out what's going on next year, and there's still no calendar for next year yet that we can find. And it's like, there will be some comps in around these times. Yeah. And their open Nats, I think, has a date, but the junior Nats doesn't have a date yet. So like, that doesn't. That's so small. That's not even a small thing. It's a big thing you need to have gotten right. Yeah. Like set the calendar, set the dates. Like coaches get to pick the comps to go to for their athletes to suit the thing, and then as a coach, we've got fucking other people to lift at the other things, and you know what you're doing, rather than like, I just got to stay ready all the time. I've got to be ready for that comp in 5 weeks. And for those guys, there's qual totals you got to hit to get through unless you're already qualified. So if you're like what I'd class as an edge lifter is like you're nearly at the total, not quite at the total. Like, how the hell do you stay ready?
Yeah, I think
and get that thing.
And you know what? I think that's also the breath of fresh air of being in like a professional sport.
Yeah, actually having all that,
like everything's organized. There's systems to it, and I get it. That like obviously. Well, to a degree, I get it, because powerlifting's been around for a long time enough now that we should be nailing these things.
Yeah, absolutely. I get the challenges come with it, because it is definitely an amateur sport. Like as a person who runs a comp, maybe you make a few bucks, maybe you don't. But so everything lands with you as an individual. You don't have finance to put a supporting team around you to do it all the stuff. But so it is tricky. But at the same time, we've been doing it a long time. We know what people like. Just get those things right, like a fucking calendar. Come on, APA, sort that out. I want to know when comps are on. I want to book flights early. Like the little one for me was like their Nats last year. I think they announced it, and like I get last year was different. The Fed jumped in, blah blah blah. But they announced the Open Nats, and there's still 4 or 5 weeks before they open the Junior Nats. And it's like, man, just tell us when it is. I want to book my flights to Newcastle, and I have to pay twice as much. I'm going to pay like half as much.
That's one of the biggest things. Like, make it accessible, make it easy, make it enticing. Let people start the planning process. Yep.
I tell you, I reckon, what are your thoughts? I reckon powerlifting's bigger in next year and the year after. I think it's in the purple patch. I think it's only getting bigger.
I definitely think powerlifting's getting bigger and bigger. It's never going to stop growing, because we're in that age where everything is immediate. It's growing rapidly, right? There's technology. Social media has changed the game forever. And we know that across all industries, not just powerlifting. It ain't going anywhere.
Nope.
So we have to adapt to that. We have to be able to pivot, bring all these systems. The people in the industry who are at the top need to start going, cool. Powerlifting is growing exponentially. Where do we want to be as a federation or as a fucking You know,
Meet director, even in
if
just
all the
to
fucking
run a
powerlifting
competition.
people came together and just went, where do we want to see powerlifting in Australia in the next 5 years?
Can you imagine that? If you got all the heads together like the powers that be, it'd be like getting like the mafia bosses together.
Right. But like, imagine
You know what I mean?
the
Like
outcomes.
if you got them, if you said,
Hmm.
my people have to talk to your people have to talk to my people, and then we'll have to agree where we go to meet.
Yeah, and you know
It
what?
would legitimately be like that. And then one of them would be sitting down and said, I'm not doing that. If he's doing that, no way.
Yeah. But if we had that and we all came together, they all came together and
Yeah.
just said, look, we may not all fucking agree on the same thing about our federations,
Yeah. Yeah.
but as a fed, where do we want to, or as everyone running meets and wanting people to succeed
Yeah.
in their own feds,
Yeah.
where do we want powerlifting in 5 years? Well, we want these feds to be fucking
That'd be
flourishing.
amazing. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
comps? What when's our nationals? How can we not?
How can we not put it on the same weekend?
Yeah, like that's a fucking good one. And then how can we? What standards of meat do we want? What standards of judging? We all got to be strict on this, and we can make powerlifting the best in the world.
That's not a bad idea. I love it. I love it. I would love that. I would love
Because you know what?
as a state rep to sit down with another state rep and
Yeah,
just
but like
just
also,
shoot shit. So what are you doing next year? What are you doing next year? And have it in a way that because I mean I wouldn't see him as a competitor. I'd tell him everything we're doing, but
yeah.
that makes sure that other person's like, oh, hang on a minute, I can't tell him fucking everything.
But you know what's fucking great though? Because like, and I know I reckon, I don't know for a fact, that's a wrong phrase, but you sat down if that happened, right? And you were able to plan out all these calendars that never fucking affected one person or the other. You'll have multiple lifters going across multiple federations
Without a doubt.
to fucking prove that they're the best across multiple federations, whatever it may be, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then if I'm a fucking head of this federation, I'm going, all right, the winner from each of these nationals has the opportunity to compete at the very end of the year against all the other federation nationals.
Yeah,
Against
yeah.
all the athletes at podium there.
Yeah. See it 0 Pro.
Yeah, just fucking, yeah, like literally.
No accident. They put it on in September, October.
Yep.
Just saying. Nice work, Thomas.
So like that's where I would love to see powerlifting go.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Do I think it will get there? Fuck no. There's too many fingers and too many pies and too many egos that won't be checked.
Too many egos. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I tell you, I had this conversation, and you'll like this. I had this conversation with someone today, and I've said, our sport's getting busy and it's getting popular, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm going to miss is the personalities, because there's going to be less of them. And I mean the dodgy people. I mean the crazy wild ones, because there's going to be, a lack of a better word, a lot more normal people coming to our sport, and all the obscure, strange oddities that are a part of this thing. Good night, little one. Love you. All those strange oddity people, there's going to be, good night, Super Ted. There's going to be less of them, right? Or there's just going to be way more normal people. So it's going to be a little bit more vanilla than what we have at the moment. So I know I'm going to miss those people.
Absolutely. And like, again, I think it's also time for a lot of us to say goodbye to that golden age, right?
Yeah, you can't just keep hanging on to it. We've got to evolve.
Exactly. Yeah. And like, I
bring
think
the crazy with us, but you got to lean into the future.
I think Capo had the slogan this year, like respect the past, embrace the future, or whatever it was.
Yeah, they came up with that a couple of years ago. I really like it, and they lean on it. I've been in a few conversations behind the scenes where we've been talking about like stuff to do for the future, and that comment's come up as like something we need to lean on and remember. There was something, there was some records we were trying to change or not change, do something with, and it was in one of the group on the email chain jumped in and said, "Hey guys, don't remember this, blah blah blah. This is our thing. We need to always go back to this."
Yes, 100%.
Which is brilliant.
100%. Like, I know from now, like, we know biking involvement in powerlifting is probably never going to be as high as it once was, right? And hopefully to a point we can get it to where it's not involved.
Yeah, maybe, well, yeah.
A little bit. Because we need that excitement. But
hey, look, if someone wants to sponsor us,
we just take the money. We didn't know where it came from.
No, I don't know.
But I think like powerlifting's growing. There's no stopping it. There's no stopping it. And when you got people, pushing limits like your Lily Rileys, right?
Yeah, they're trailblazing, bro.
Yep, there's always going to be people following them into the sport.
The wild thing is, I see numbers that are getting set today, right? They're going to be fucking annihilated in about 5 or 6 years. And I can tell you why. Because Lily played rugby league first, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she probably played a bunch of other sports, and then she did powerlifting.
Mm-hmm.
So she got to it, like, for this year, for our era, she got to it around the same time as everybody else.
Yep.
We got kids coming through that haven't done other sports. They've just done powerlifting. And that's their sport.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're the ones coming through. They're going to take an absolute dump on the numbers that are getting done now. Like, I watched the the IPF Junior Nats, or Junior Worlds. Do 100, 110, something like that. 9-10 total, sleeves. Under 23 is a gentleman. Yeah. In the junior age class that I had the athlete I in, so 84 kilos, sub 24. She went 227 squat, missed on depth. Close. But, still. I think top girl benched 120 at 84.
Oh, shit.
And top girl pulled whatever, fucking mid 220s. And these are girls properly tested, that are sub 23 young. And yeah, you just look at the dudes as well over there. The numbers they're throwing down is insane. And the wild bit is they're probably still ones that played another sport yet. They still did something until 16 to 18, right? And then they were like, I've done some barbells, now I'm getting strong. I'm not talking about these ones. I'm talking about the next ones that are coming, that just barbell.
That's insane.
Fucking cool.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to that.
Can you imagine when we,
really obvious.
5 to 10 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now, like, we've seen it. It was common for a 300 kilo squat. It's now common for 400.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting to the era where it's common for a 455 1,000 pound squat.
They'll just be doing it in sleeves, bro.
Yeah, and then now we're gonna fucking see a 500 kilo squats become
all the time.
All the time.
Yep.
And I reckon 300 kilo squats for women are around the corner.
Yeah, dude. There's one done it, right? If I'm not wrong, one person's done it. Yeah, two. Well, yeah, because you got Sarah Rainbow has done it, and then had someone else done it.
I'm not too sure.
But yeah, so you've got, and like, Sarah's trailblazing as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think
it's wild times ahead.
Oh yeah. So what do you reckon? 2025. What's coming your way,
mate? A lot of work.
We
got obviously a big season with the Dolphins. Obviously with the business, we're launching more courses. So we've got our Epic Level 1.
Level 2.
Yeah, we've got Level 2 coming out.
Shout out Level 2.
That starts by the time this comes out. It would have already started.
In the future.
Which is cool. And then we've got a few other bespoke courses coming out.
Ooh.
And then, of course, just the general day-to-day operations. So
that's the exciting thing for you as a coach and trying to play and playing in the education space. With the growth of this thing means there's more of us. So we need to learn things too. So that's a great opportunity for you.
Yeah, I'm stoked, man. Like it's very rewarding that, and I love that space. So yes, it's gonna be a big one. But fucking hell,
I love it. I'm gonna hit you with 10 questions, and you get to be the last of these 10 questions. And
still get anxiety around these. That's what. Yeah,
you've even heard these. You even potentially ran the answers through in your head before. I'm gonna ask you, with number one being your favorite takeaway food.
Sorry,
your favorite takeaway food. What would you like to eat?
Oh, okay. There's a pizza shop in Sandgate called Il Forno's.
Il Forno's.
Their pizza, there's like spicy salami pizza, gets me going.
I do like a pizza. Favorite way to celebrate?
Okay. Pizza, whiskey, and a cigar.
Love it. City born in?
Brisbane.
Dream car?
1969 Camaro.
Ooh, nickname.
Sorry?
What's your nickname?
Sorry, you just dropped out there.
What is your nickname?
Fuck. I get called Dickhead a lot. I think that's become my nickname.
Hey, Dickhead.
Yep.
Maybe I'll put that as the title.
Yeah, right. But no, I think just Brando.
Brando.
I get Brando a lot now.
Greco.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get a last name thrown around out at the footy club? Is that still like a lads thing? Everyone's called by the last name out there?
Yeah, but I get Grex a lot.
Grex. Hey,
Yeah,
Grex. I like that.
I think it's just a common thing we do. Hey, just shorten everything.
It's Australian. You have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to ask your future self? What do you want to know?
What do I want to know? Oh,
Dear.
that's actually a good one because I don't really.
Tricky one.
Not too sure actually.
Okay.
I actually don't have an answer for that.
Yeah, that's fine. Favorite word to say? What is it?
Grateful.
Grateful. I like it. Favorite photo of all time?
Ooh. For my wedding day.
Oh, lovely. And look, I got one too.
Yeah, I just saw. Yeah,
Yeah, pretty cute.
it's on it's in the background on my phone, so I was like, oh, yep.
Oh, love it. Got to have that. Where are you going to go on holidays next year?
Maybe New Zealand.
Oh, cute, bro.
Or like even you know what? Probably maybe Japan.
Japan. Nice.
Yeah, I
That'll
do
work.
love. I'm keen to go back to Japan, or maybe.
Want to come
We'll
to
see.
South Africa in November?
What
We're going to Worlds next year, baby.
is that in South Africa?
South Africa next year. Oh, yeah.
I thought you meant this year. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's in Chicago this year, isn't
Chicago
it?
this year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wheels up in 4 weeks. But
Holy fuck!
South Africa next year. South Africa.
Bloody hell, that's gonna be unreal.
Yeah, it'd be sick. You should come. Take
Maybe.
You only need one athlete. Fuck, you can just say you coach one of my crew. You don't even need.
Just helping.
Yeah, helping. Love it. Done, mate. That's it. Welcome, mate. I'd just like to say it's been a pleasure being a part of this thing with you. I very much look to flying the flag and carrying it on for the forever future. And we'll just continually get you back as a guest so you feel it. So you pretty much don't escape then.
Nah, mate, it's been my pleasure. I think, I was thinking about it for a lot, and we started this back in 2019, 2020 through what was one of the weirdest years, right? And honestly, it got me through that. So there's a lot of good memories around it, and I can't thank you enough for being the co-host and the best partner to do it with. Obviously, I'm going to be a big supporter of it. So anytime we want to chat, you want to throw the shit, and I'm free.
Yeah.
We'll hit
I still
bro.
got to work out how to do half this shit too, bro. Just a heads up.
Yeah, look, I get that. There's a lot of YouTube involved, a lot of Googling, and how do I do this?
I figured as much. I've got them all recorded. I haven't put anything out yet, but
that's fair.
On purpose though, because this one goes out first.
I appreciate that.
There's a new intro coming too. I'll send it to you.
Of course.
I'll send it
Very
to you.
exciting.
Thanks for coming on. But people need to find you if they don't know where you are. Where are you, and what do they do?
The usual Insta. I'm always on Insta at Brandan_epic coaching. That's the best way to contact me. Just get involved, and we'll get you started.
Slip the DMs. Go check it out. Strong coaching staff. Lots of strong people in there. All the different things. Brando, thanks for coming on, brother. We will talk very soon, my friend.
Thank you very much, bro.
Work out what's going on this fucking camera. See you, bro.
See you, bro.
Yeah, I've got it, bro. Give me a minute. What is going on? Temperature.